Welcome back. And as you can see, we're getting a lot closer here with the very early 50. And as I mentioned before, it's a real early vehicle, built mid-49. And after all the hard work of straightening the panels out and then fixing up the patina where I'd had to do some pretty serious repairing to the panels, it's time to start putting the car back together. Today I'll be just setting up these doors for fit and putting the front mudguards together, just checking the fit where they made up between the two parts, the inner and outer. And this video was shot over a couple of days, and I actually got the guards on the vehicle late today. Just hung them on. I haven't finished fitting them off, but they're hung on the vehicle, the bonnet and all that sort of stuff on the front windscreen. It's starting to look quite nice actually, and hopefully tomorrow I can have it completely finished and out taking some photos for sale. I really are at the enjoyment stage of it. It's always great when you're putting these things back together after doing a fair bit of work to the body and all that. It's just, there's something a bit special about seeing the lights behind the grills go back together, especially in the patina finish. You know, you can see that history in the vehicle. And just tidying up some of those bits that were a bit dodgy over its life, where things were just sort of banged on and mocked up, just getting rid of those things and just making it look that little bit tidy and a bit closer back towards what it was like when it was new. And as I've gone through before, you know, patina is one of those things. It's the beauty's in the eye of the beholder. I've seen some patina cars rock up at shows and stuff like that. And people's perceptions of patina definitely vary. I personally, as I've gone through before in the other videos with this 50, I just like to see them back to, you know, more original state. You know, if there's something absolutely outstanding that's been fitted by a previous owner and it's a nice, neat, tidy job, and you can see someone's put some work into it, you know, I'd definitely leave it. But stuff nailed together with a hammer and a pair of pliers, it's not really my bag. Whereas others run up and get photos taken with that sort of thing. And one day, when it's not so busy, I'm going to get around to throwing up some videos and photos of some really outstanding cars that have been built and used throughout the years on different farms and cattle stations and deep in the outback. At some of the modifications, I've got some real rippers that I definitely will put up. These sort of vehicles that, you know, get modified, they just get better the further you get away from civilization. You know, some of the vehicles built on these remote cattle stations and that, where they're just, you know, they're relying on themselves and just what's laying around, and a lot of the modifications are done from bits and pieces of stuff from, you know, the early 1900s, where they've gone down to the car tip on the station and they've parted out something that's 40 years older, and then fitted it up to something that was built in the 1950s. And there's just some really, really good vehicles out there when you start looking. But it's just like anything in life, the further you get off grid and the more remote you get, the more interesting things become. Because people have just had to make do, and it's there's some fantastic stuff out there, especially in Australia, because it is so remote and so sparse. And especially searching for old Land Rovers, while the big craze was going on over the last 10 years, most blokes were just putting an ad in the Gumtree or the paper or something like that, and they're just waiting for the cars to come to them. But the real rippers, as you know, with life, the best things you've got to really work hard for, and get off your ass and go out and have a look for them. And that was really enjoyable for me, picking up a lot of these real early cars, because I spent a lot of time out there, and it's not just a matter of running out there for 24 hours or 48 hours. You really need to go and camp out for a week or so and live with the locals and the stories, and it's just fantastic time. But yeah, seeing some of the vehicles, and not just Land Rover vehicles as well, it's just all sorts of vehicles that were built to keep these farms running. And there really is some spectacular, really super rare vehicles still out there. It's just amazing what's laying about in the middle of nowhere. And as you can see, it's definitely look a lot different than what it did on the first couple of videos. The guards have come up reasonably well, and as I've explained throughout all of these videos, I wasn't going for perfect because I wanted to retain the patina. And when you're going for perfect, you'll have to file finish, and that's the end of any paint that was on the vehicle. And as you'll see tomorrow, if I get this thing up for sale, there's still bits and pieces of the orange paint, as it was painted orange, on it that haven't, I didn't take it all off completely. And the panels aren't absolutely perfect, but they're really nice for seeing its history without being, really untidy. And this is a bit of a walk around at the end of that first day. Just giving you a bit of an insight into how it's coming up. Should look absolutely spectacular back on the road. And here I'm just mucking around, pulling a piece of shaft out of the steering box for the horn dip. For some reason on this vehicle, the top part of the horn dip was gone, but they'd cut the shaft of what people used to do. Well, some people used to just put a bolt in the end because the oil leaks out if the shaft's not in there when they pull the shaft out of the column. But all they'd done with this one is they'd cut off the bottom part of the shaft, and that was all that was left in it. So I put another one in there, another 80-inch one in there for whoever's going to buy the vehicle. And now I'm just mucking about with these doors, just trying to get the fit so that they catch nice. I mean, it's not important the car's going to be restored, but you know, it's going to travel. You don't want the doors opening up while it's on the trailer or whatever. Now, this filming game always gets the better of me, and remembering to turn the camera on. We've jumped ahead here because we were deeply involved in what was going on and forgot to turn the camera on. But anyway, as you can see, it's got one of the mud guards on. It's got the passenger side on and the driver's about to go on. And it's really starting to look nice. That shadow's come up on the side of it, but and you can't really see how nice that is it there. But tomorrow, it should look good in the photos, that's for sure. And for any of the English viewers, we don't have wings over here. Well, only birds and aeroplanes have wings in Australia, but the cars have guards. Mud guards, to be precise. The English are funny, they have lorries as trucks as well. Lorry was the bloke that delivered the barrels to the pub out in Australia. And they call trucks wagons up in Yorkshire. It's a pity I've lost the light a little bit here with the shadow, because I really wanted to check it all out with the bonnet back on it in the sunlight and just see how nice it was, but I'm going to have to wait until tomorrow now. There really is something about a green Land Rover, that's for sure. And especially a well-weathered one with its Burma bright coming through the green paint. That is just sensational.